All right, boys and girls. So we're going to continue on with our discussion about common nouns and proper nouns. Um, Last time we talked, we said that nouns are people, places, and things. Common nouns are not specific, they could be any person, place, or thing. Proper nouns are very specific, and usually they are, in fact almost always they're capitalized because they are specific events or places or people or things. So today we're going to talk about capitalizing titles. So we're going to look at titles of books, stories, and essays. So make sure you put your name at the top of your paper. All right, so the titles of books, stories, and essays are proper nouns and should always be capitalized. Okay, so always, whenever you're reading a book, the title of the book is capitalized. Do not capitalize small words such as and, of, and the unless they begin the title. Okay, so one of the things that you should know too is that books are always underlined. So titles of books are always underlined. This is showing you that they're placed they're italicized, they're placed in italics. See how the letters kind of slant? If you have a story, it goes in quotes. I would say this would be a good addition to underline it because books are always underlined. Sometimes you're not able to write italics when you're writing. Let's say that you're writing a report and you're writing it. You can't sometimes make fancy slanted writing, but you can underline the title, right? Remember to put the titles of book, chapters, stories, and essays inside quotation marks. So book chapters, stories, and essays have to have quotation marks. That's why this one is a story and it has quotation marks. Treasure Island is a book, so it's underlined. All right, so we're going to write the sentences correctly. We're going to add capital letters where they're needed, and we're going to underline book titles. Okay, it's telling us here to underline book titles. I like to do the correcting on the sentence, and then once I've fixed it, I rewrite it. Okay, it's a little hard to do it as you go, so I like to do the correcting first. Is there a story about Stormalong in the book American Tall Tales? That sounds like a book, so I'm going to underline it because it actually said book. And I'm also going to capitalize American, Tall, and Tales. I think everything else is fine. Is there a story about Stormalong in the book? Here comes my capital A, American, underlined, tall, capitalized, underlined, tales, question mark, underlined, capitalized T on tails. Okay, looks perfect to me. Number 2, the story 5 Fathoms Tall is about Stormy. Well, this is going to need to be capitalized, isn't it? The quotation marks are correct because it's a story, right? But we just need to capitalize. The story, quotes, capital F-I-V-E, F-A-T-H, capital T-A-L-L, quotes, is about Stormy. Okay. I'm going to let you guys do the last two on your own. So I'm going to pause and give you a few minutes to work on it. And then you can correct yours by looking at mine, okay? So I'm going to do mine off camera. We'll have a momentary pause. And while you're pausing, you can have a peek at a crab. So don't be crabby while you're working on your own. We'll put the crab here so that you have something to look at. And then I'm going to do my work off camera. Then when you're done, you can check mine to see if you got the answer correct. Okay? Okay. You ready to check and see if yours looks like mine? All right, let's double check and see what you got. So when I did mine, I said, I wrote an essay for class called Why We Like Tall Tales. It should be in quotation marks, that's perfect. But all of these words need to be capitalized. Why we like tall tales need to be capitalized. So this is how mine turned out. Looks exactly like the previous sentence, but I put capital Y, capital we, capital like, capital tall, capital tales. Right? Okay, the second one, again, it's a story, an essay and a story. It told us that essays and stories, it says titles of books, stories, and essays are proper nouns. Book, chapter, stories, and essays are in quotes. So these are correct. They're in quotation marks. I loved the story, and then I capitalized the P on Paul, the B on Bunyan. I did not capitalize the T on the because the is one of the tiny words we don't capitalize unless it's at the beginning of a sentence. Capitalize the G on giant and the L on lumberjack. And then that sentence is correct. So hopefully you got the same answers that I got. If you didn't, figure out how you need to correct it, and you can write them down below here. If you messed up, you can fix it, fix where you messed up. If you didn't mess up, congratulations to you for doing a good job. And thanks for joining me. I hope you enjoyed learning about capitalizing titles of books, stories, essays, all the things that we love to read.